Oh my goodness, it's me and you, and we're here at Improv On and Off the Topic with Emily Arnold too. Yeah!
That was a lot quicker of a minute than I thought I was. I was in the bathroom. Hey, everyone.
I loved it. I mean, I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
You know, we're humans here at Improv On and Off the Topic show stage. We're
Yep. And we're
humans.
doing great. So, hey, journeyers,
Hi, journeyers.
welcome to a new month.
It is. It's October, and we're talking about reconnecting.
Mm-hmm. Reconnecting with yourselves, reconnecting with your community, reconnecting to our stream, to our journeyers. Hey, we missed you last week.
We did. Yeah.
Shannon's reconnecting to her home country, repatriatizing herself.
That's true. I left Improv On and Off the stage, went international. That was terrible. International. And we went to Zurich and we went to Paris, France, and we taught improv classes. We taught improv workshops, we did shows, all the things that Improv On and Off the stage can do, we did. We even did our Improv On and Off the show live stream I was in Paris, and it was really late, y'all, but it was really good. If you have a chance to go check out the live stream that we did about all the things, Haifa was there. That was about recovery, and wow, it was great. Haifa is a Tunisian improviser who, in her work, talks about gender and stereotypes in her work, in her improv, and so that was really neat to have.
She was incredible.
Yeah, it was.
And your chemistry with her, like, because y'all were staying in the same flat, like. Amazing. So good. And I feel like, you know, I know that you always come ready to go with whatever we're going to talk about. But I feel like I'm reconnecting with you right now, Shannon, because you know, we haven't had a whole lot of time to chat while you were, you know, away from regular cell phone data.
Yes.
So I almost feel like this is our journeyers are kind of seeing us reconnect in person. And I see Charlotte and Gus are in the chat. Hey, y'all. Good to see you. Welcome to Reconnecting with us.
Yes, it is. I think I feel like that's a legitimate thing to think of, to say out loud, like that we haven't been able to chat because I've been on a different in a different time zone. When I'm sleeping, you're awake, and vice versa. And man, what a whole thing that is, just as far as reconnecting with people who are close to you, but you can't see them for a while or whatever, and then having to come back into their lives and having you to come back into, like, we're having to come back into each other's lives and pick up where we left off. And sometimes that can be a whole thing.
Yeah. And and on a personal, very personal level to us and to On and Off, this month is one of our live runs. Right. So we very literally I will be flying to Texas and reconnecting with our team. And I think some of our team members have have moved since our last run.
Yes.
A little bit farther from the city. So I don't even know if you've had an opportunity to see the rest of our team. So we very literally, this is the month where we as a team will be able to come together, reconnect. I'll get to eat tacos with you guys. Luke and I are gonna just be super stoked about everything together and share a lot of hugs. So many hugs.
Yes.
Y'all get to see how big my belly is right now. It'll be It's very nice. It's so nice to see people who you love after periods of
A
time.
long time. Yeah, I mean, we can just roll with this because the
Yeah.
thing is that there's a lot we we're always talking about obviously improv and how it helps us reconnect. And the practice specifically of improv and how we are constantly in a scene being thrown things that get us off track, right? Like, yes, oh my gosh, Emily, okay, this was great. So I was in Zurich and I was playing with John Gebertatios, who is out of
Love him.
Minneapolis. He's
Uh-huh.
amazing. So we got to play, we're doing some scenes. There was a scene that we did where there are three, I was playing three characters in like, let's call it a soup kitchen. Like I was in a kitchen, I'm making some soup, right? And out of nowhere, John was like, well, yeah, let's call them Bob, Fred, and Jill. Like, Bob, you're doing great. Jill, also doing great. Uh, Fred, also doing great. And what about that parrot? What does the parrot have to say? He says, John says to me, like, and I literally had to come out of my character and say, John, I'm sorry. Are you insinuating there's a parrot in this scene? Out of zero place. There was no reason a parrot should have been in this scene. And I think there is I was able to come out of character, literally talk to him. He was like, yeah, why not? Like, there's a parrot. It's fine. And that sort of, hey, here's a curveball, here's a curveball, here's a curveball that we practice in improv. It helps so much, right, off the stage because I'm in the practice of one, just asking questions. Like you're allowed to ask a question, John. What is there a parrot here? Like, or clarify even inside the character, clarify what's going on. That type of communication between you and me and Braden and our team and all of our team really helps all of the relationships that one has when you're in practice of like it's okay for me to ask a question. It's okay for me not to know what's going on and it's okay for me to ask what's happening because it's hard to get back in the flow of a relationship when you have been gone and people's lives keep moving.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
interesting in the time of social media how depending on how engaged you are in social media presence, you can keep up with people who you haven't seen. But I've been on like a Facebook cleanse since like May, right? So like I only check I sometimes only check when I get like emails or like push notifications and I happen to be like, yeah, sure, why not? Um, so I don't know. Uh, and I feel like this is great. Feels like we're back when we were younger and you didn't really know what was going on with your friends because they weren't like you didn't get to see all of their meals online. And we get to reconnect, actually like have this process of being like, hey, I missed something. Tell me about your thoughts. Tell me about what's going on. Similar to when you were on stage with John and you were like, hey, I missed something. Can you tell me about this parent situation? So similarly, like when I see y'all, I can be like, hey, I haven't heard any of your updates about your new apartment or how your pet is doing or how your kids are, how school year's
It's
going.
yeah,
And we are able to talk about those things.
it's good.
Very, it's very good and very exciting. And a key
Yeah.
part of reconnecting, right?
Yes, yes. There's another part of this. So one of the things I realized when I left was that because my habits obviously can't remain the same, right? So my habits are being interrupted. You have, and I thought about this a lot. We always talk about values, right? And what's valuable to us. So because my habits were being interrupted, I had a special lens to look back like at what I had come from. Like what's my life like in Austin? What do I value? What of this trip do I value here and can keep and take back with me, and what can I release? And in improv, we are being thrown on the stage so many curveballs that we are also practicing sort of like not a dodging, but selection, right? We can select, okay, Shannon, what's that parrot doing on your arm? Oh, squawk, squawk, squawk. I'm like, being a parrot now. Oh, cool. And now the floor is lava. Okay, fine. We can floor lava, whatever. Okay, and now it's raining dinosaurs. And I can choose to just like, cool, the dinosaurs, awesome. I'm going to stick with this parrot and I'm going to stick with this lava. And the audience is like, ha ha ha, it's raining dinosaurs now. But we can still move the story along without having to incorporate every single offer because it can get really heavy. And I feel, or you can get bogged down. It can start, your balancing skills can go out the window, and that's okay. Like you
Right.
can let things go.
Right. And you, similarly, when you're catching up with someone, you don't tell them every single, like, okay, I haven't seen you since July 30th. And on August 1st, I did this. And
Right.
so like you choose the important, the highlights when you're
Right.
reconnecting, right?
Yes.
Even, yeah, because then that's just kind of how conversations work. Now
Right.
going
You're
into
not like, on this day, I had breakfast at this time. And then 5 minutes later, I had to go to the bathroom. And then I had a sensation and I was scratching my head. Like you just don't do all of that.
You pick and choose. Similarly in an improv scene, when you're thrown with a million things, like you said, like some things are like, that's an interesting piece of information that we don't really need to delve into.
Right. We don't need to follow up with that. And my question for you is how that sort of shows up with your clients, because there has to be, I bet that somewhere in there, there's like information that's being thrown at the client or information that's being thrown at the caregiver, and maybe even from the client to the caregiver, and or vice versa. And somebody has to pick what information is important so
Yeah.
that the client is safe. And
I say pick your important thing all the time to caregivers.
oh,
And mostly this is mostly in terms of when we're thinking about going about our day or trying to teach a skill um or anything that can happen where you have multiple humans involved and you can't control all the humans, and especially if what is important to each human is slightly different. If let's say, for example, I use this as an example a lot. If you have to take a kid who is working on potty, who's like pretty early in like their potty training life, maybe they can use the toilet but they still need reminders, you want to get them to go to the bathroom,
right,
right? That is not important to that kid. They are in the middle of playing with trucks,
right,
right?
yeah,
And so the thing that I ask caregivers to remember is, in that moment, what is important, right? Is it that you say, hey, we need to go to the bathroom, and they immediately put down their truck, stand up quietly, walk in like a very formal line to the bathroom? No, that's ridiculous. Uh, what's important is that they don't pee their pants, right? That they get to the bathroom at some point. So that means that there's some room for flexibility, right?
right,
Uh, so when we're talking about connecting with that kid on how to be like, oh, I do need to go to the bathroom. Let's go to the bathroom. We connect in terms of how do we meet them with what they want to do?
uh,
Can we bring one of their trucks to the bathroom? Can they drive their truck to the bathroom? Do they need an extra 30 seconds while they park their truck in the parking garage and sing it goodnight or something? Like, figure out how we can meld what's important to the caregiver versus the kid.
I yeah, that's how we can meld what's important to the caregiver and what's important to the kid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
when I've made a few phone calls since I've been home because I'm home now, but I'm only home for a few days. I'm leaving again. On and off the stage is going to Black and Funny. We're doing the same stuff. We're teaching improv. We're doing improv. We're doing lots of stuff. Um, but in the few days that I've been home, I've only been home a day. Anyway, I've connected with some people, and I'm noticing that I'm asking them these like very large questions, like, "What have I missed? What are you up to? Where's your emotional stance? Where's your mental stance these days? Like, how all like a lot of different questions." And what I'm finding is that both me and the person I'm talking to really are trying to distill down like what is important to us. I'm
Mhm.
asking big questions, but the my partner, whoever it is that I'm talking to, is like distilling down like, "Hey, this is what's important to me. I know you're asking me what my mental state across the 10 days or whatever days you've been gone is, but what I'm telling you is that today it's hard to focus like this, and I need support here." And that's what I'm hearing for kids, right? Or in this situation, I need support right here. I don't, like you said, I don't need to be walking in a line, like standing, waiting for the bathroom, unlocking. I just need support in my emotional truck and my emotional peeing time. And right, it's like
Metaphorical peeing,
it's
metaphorical time.
metaphorically peeing time, but it's the
Mhm.
same on stage. We have what's important. Like Jill Bernard, maybe it's Jill Bernard. Somebody coined the crow, right?
Mhm.
Character, relationship, occupation, and where,
Yeah,
like
I
where
think
you are.
Bernard's is Vapapo,
But
but
yeah, but Papa was Jill Bernard's. Yes.
Mhm.
So either way, choose one of them. But those are the important things. These are the important things that we try to get into a scene, where we are, what our relationship is. And if we can hold on to those things, it is easier for us to decipher other stuff that's important or not important. If we can set the groundwork, even for this child, it sounds like, okay, the groundwork is we don't pee in our pants, right? That's the groundwork. We go to the toilet to pee in our pants. Now that we have that groundwork for the both of us, now we can see what is available or not available uh, to us to play with.
yeah.
And that's like when we're talking about reconnecting, oh man, I'm thinking, I like, so it's like it takes all of that stuff that we're talking about, that crow, the character, who Emily and Shannon are, the relationship, like who they are together, the
Mhm.
objective, what are they trying to accomplish, right? We're trying to
Yeah.
accomplish this month, we're trying to accomplish live shows, we're trying to accomplish online shows, we're doing a lot. And the where, Emily's flying to Austin again. Like these are the groundwork. And then from that, because we have a good setting, it will be easier for us to reconnect and to start rebuilding what we need to in whatever moments we need. When those things aren't, even if it's off stage, when those things are off balance or you don't have them, it's really hard to reconnect with people.
Yeah, I agree. I think those are kind of your foundations,
Yep.
right? Think about, you know, you know how you have those friends that you've grown apart from, right? Just like time has just drifted you apart. And so you don't know what yeah, the R part, I don't know what my relationship is to this person, right?
Yeah.
That's one of those things, and just like a peek into my brain, that's one of the things that gives me anxiety about life is like is reconnecting with people who I've fallen out of touch with, right? We have my college homecoming is this month. And so I'm like have like this weird social anxiety about like seeing my old roommate and best friend who I haven't talked to in a year. And so
Oh,
it's that unstable, what is our relationship now? gives me some nerves about reconnecting. And so I think that's one of the first things that like we have to establish, right? When I bump in, like, do I text her beforehand and I'm like, hey, we're going to go together? Or do I just like bump into her while we're there? And that's how we kind of like establish that. And from then we can do all the like the flexible talking about
Yeah.
how the past year has been. And did you even know that I'm pregnant? I haven't heard anything from you. How are your dogs? You still have a cat? I don't know.
Right? I
Uh,
don't know. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so one of those soft balance, like that needs to be reestablished.
Yes.
The how much information or how like emotionally vulnerable I'm gonna go in with you depends on what our relationship is. Right.
And I know that there are people watching, and the not the opposite, but a subcategory of that relationship are the relationships that you have established so hard that it doesn't matter. Like a year, 2 years, a long time can pass, and you can pick up the phone and just say like, hey, I need help, and that person is there for you. Or, hey, I want to reconnect in this moment. And because you have such a rich history, those things are easier to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I got a text from one of those people the other day because
yeah.
I haven't seen them since like I just found out I was pregnant, and she was like, "I don't have any updates," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm so sorry."
It's good. Improv, like we like to talk about the practice of improv, like the doing it a lot, taking classes, like being on stage, practicing improv on stage and off the stage, because it gives us, in this particular case, we're talking about reconnecting, it really gives us it helps to lower the anxiety. I feel like when I'm hearing you talk about just being anxious about seeing your best friend, improv really is, because it's so ridiculous. Like there's a parrot now, and now it's raining cats, or whatever it is. It's so ridiculous, and you have to pivot so fast to reconnect to the story and to reconnect to the improviser that you're talking to. You learn to do that in real life. You learn that it's okay. That's okay to have that bit of anxiety that you're talking about and still move forward, make the choices to establish the connection that you're trying to connect. The
Yeah, and
connection that you're
to
trying to connect.
understand that experience is has to be like flexible chaos,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, yes.
If we're comparing sort of that as we grow old and drift apart from people, that's just, I mean, that just happens, right? And I think we're more able to accept that like life just happens because we spend time on a stage where like all sorts of crap happens, you
Yeah,
know? And
absolutely.
we're really good, like you're saying, like we're good at pivoting, and we're good at being like, yep, now the dinosaurs are falling from the sky and they're on fire, and now there are 12 parrots, uh and we're good at being like, yep, we're accepting this chaos, and putting that into real life and being like, yeah, man, like of course things happen and people drift apart, and it's nothing personal, it's just the way that like life is, and we
Yeah.
all feel that way.
Yes, absolutely. You usually do it, but I'm gonna do it this time, which is just, if you're watching, and you're like, yeah, that's resonating with me. My question to you is, what are you reconnecting with these days? What is inspiring you to reconnect with something, a person, or a thing that you love, a hobby, or yeah, just how is reconnecting showing up in your life? Put it in the chat, whether you're here with us right now or watching it later. Uh, it's cool.
Yeah. We're also going to be having, I actually have this as my to-do list after we are done today. We do have our Patreon. Improv Off the Stage is on patreon.com. And I'm going to post our discussion for the month about like, what are you reconnecting to? And, you can have chats with us, with Shannon and I and the rest of our team there. If you're more like into like, let's take our time in a forum space. Meanwhile, I see that Barry is
Yes.
reconnecting with the spiritual. Just said that in the
Yes.
chat.
That's
Charlotte is reconnecting with themselves, and they also make frequent trips to Austin to
yes.
make themselves feel most like themselves. And I want to always feel like that. Oh, Charlotte, I love you.
So
So
good.
sweet.
We love you. Reconnecting with the spiritual is a big thing. There's the idea we should, because we only have a few minutes, so we can't get deep into it. But that's
Hold this, Barry. Thank you for inspiring us for next week's topic. We're going to
yeah, exactly, because that is a big. It can be really daunting to have a love or an entity that is like, you come anytime. You know what I mean? I love you all the time. And to the guilt that can like come with that. We're going to talk about that next week. Barry, that's our topic next, reconnecting with the spiritual. At least we'll touch on it a little bit. But that's a big deal. It's fun. This has been so good. I'm glad that we took like some time to literally reconnect in front of people, Emily, because we don't what oh my gosh. One of the things that I love about improv and that you and I teach all the time, and being in Zurich was a really nice opportunity. I took John Gabertatios's workshop, Hard Topics, and one of the things that we do and he highlights very well, one of the things that we do as improvisers is we show people how to do things, right? We show people, even if it's comedy that we're doing and it's fast and whatnot, but because we're able to communicate with each other, read each other's body language, just be in each other's minds, all of these things are things that we show people how to do in improv. And us having a conversation about just reconnecting and at the same time like meta reconnecting ourselves within the conversation, like we're actually reconnecting, is an awesome thing because people need help to do it. Sometimes it can be really hard, and to
Girl,
watch
it's the behaviorist in me too that's like, we're modeling this behavior so that you can use your generalized peer imitation skills.
There you go. You see? That's what we're doing. That's what improv is about. Watch improv with your third eye. Watch it with your eye and then eyes and laugh. And then watch it with your third eye, your meta eye, the eye that's like seeing the in between. It's really cool. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Shannon, we're reaching the end of our 30 minutes. We plugged our Patreon. We briefly mentioned that we're doing a live run this month. So let's talk very quickly about that. We're going to be talking about that for the next couple of weeks until it actually happens. We are participating in Rest Fest in Austin, Texas, which runs from the 20th, I believe, is that Thursday, through the 23rd, which is Sunday. It's going to be at the George Washington Carver Museum. On all 4 days, On and Off the Stage will either be doing a workshop or a performance. Come out, hang out. Do you have the website that you're queuing up? Is that what you're doing with your eyeballs?
I was seeing if I could make it happen. But, sometimes Emily, things, just get, no, don't wait on me.
Okay, that's fine. So the website is thetheorists.org/restfest. Yes. Oh, good. We're seeing everything now.
We're seeing all the things. I can't help you. Goodbye thing. Say bye. Say bye. I tried my best.
thetheorists.org/restfest. Go see them. Go hang out with us. Everything is pay what you want, donation based. We will be so stoked to see you there. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited too. It's going to be amazing. Charlotte, be there. Barry, be there. Gus, be there. Zaria, be there.
Anyone else who's watching who didn't type anything in the chat, my my spouse does that. He watches a lot of our content, but never puts anything in the chat. So, Brian William Fleming, if you're watching,
Put
be
it in the
there.
chat.
You're going to be, because you have to take care of me, because I will be
Because
large.
Emily, yeah, come and say hi to Emily's baby, like Emily's growing child. You know, just say hi. Let them know that you're around and that you love and support them. This is going to be On and Off's first baby, and we claim it. I'm claiming
We'll get him
Improv
a
On and
hat.
Off's first baby.
That sounds good. All right. So all that to say that we're excited to reconnect with you, and we will see you on and
Off the stage.
goodbye.
Bye.